What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations. And I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that movement since 2020, our teams reach out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And as always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. We're broadcasting live on November 30th, the last day of November in 2025. That means there's 1 month left until the rest of the year. And here in Toronto today, wow, we've had some wild weather. Last night, pile of snow. I was driving in it, and the major highway through Toronto is called the 401. And I was driving a little bit later last night, and there was so much snow you couldn't see the lanes. It was quite an interesting drive, and I'm glad it wasn't that busy out there, but couldn't see the lanes. Now today we've got a bunch of rain to wash off that snow, and what's happening tonight? The temperature's dropping down. But you know what? It's time for Black Canada Talking, where Cesar Ndema-Moussa gives his points, his takes and POVs on things going on around the world. And Cesar, how are you today?
The vibe, brothers, sisters, and allies. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very good. It's great to see you, my brother. Great to see you,
Right back at
everyone.
you. Right back at you. What's been going on in your world?
Well, unfortunately, how do you call that? The racist season is up on us. Winter. It's sometimes we joke it's the white supremacy season, and then we can't help but think about our glorious ancestors who got kidnapped and brought here in winter without winter clothes. So, as I remind our people, it can be worse. Other
True.
than that, I'm glad to be back in Canada. We're gonna talk about it. I was away for the week
Yeah.
to Dubai,
Yes.
and
Hmm.
of course, coming back with North American realities between living in Canada, addressing Trump, and dealing with winter.
You know what? I was going outside this morning, and I use mittens. I don't use gloves because mittens keep your
Mhm,
fingers together and I couldn't find my other mitten. I'm going, what
mhm.
is going? So I had to use some gloves. So I'm speaking by the next time we do Black Cat Talking, I find the other mitten because I'm going, where could it be? So yeah, no, but had to do some snow shoveling this morning. But I said no, I should have waited till the afternoon so the rain could just wash off all the snow. But had to go out this morning. Had to
For
go out.
sure, for sure.
That is good. And family is okay.
Family's okay. They're actually playing in the snow with the sliding and all that stuff. My daughter loves winter. You can guess why. But
Oh, she can keep it.
she will grow. She will grow. It's she's only a toddler now, but she will
True.
grow.
She'll grow to love it. That is great. Have you been doing any sessions since we last spoke? Well, you did one out of the country. Were you doing anything before you left the country?
Yes, I was. I was. As we were talking about before I left 2 weeks ago, addressing the welcome and better services to newcomers in rural areas.
Okay.
And as I return, um, well, this coming week, there's the Ottawa Police Human Rights Forum
Right.
that I will be attending, and then I will be going on a business trip.
Wow.
And coming from that business trip, I will be addressing. Yes, I will be addressing presentations in regards to welcoming newcomers in rural areas, but as well the importance of addressing identity
Mhm.
to service marginalized people of all backgrounds. So um, whether it be poverty or mental health, whether it be race, gender, religion, you name it. Yeah.
Okay. That just ties in because the last time you were on, you spoke about Black Canadian newcomers in rural areas. So I guess aligns properly.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, let's go to a break. We'll be back in a little bit. Then we'll do some housekeeping. And then Cesar will start off our conversation today with his time in Dubai. So we'll be back in a few moments. Here we go.
Hey y'all, we've got your Saturday evening plans handled. It's smart conversation, lots of laughs, and a little bit of...
Did they really just say that?
That's because it's primetime Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern with Aisha K. Staggers and Laura Lala Key.
Where they try to make sense of the nonsense going on in American politics and culture.
Check it out.
Hey, what is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here. Hope you are fine and safe. I'm just doing a little short video showing you the feature where you can call in when we're doing a live show. And I've said it many times on many of my shows, but I said, you know what? Let me do a video and show you. This is the video. When you go to any browser, whether you're using your smartphone, desktop, laptop, whatever digital device, and you go to callme.road.com, which is here. Also, too, most of the time when I'm doing a broadcast, there will be a QR code that I will show. So whether it's QR code or you're going through some digital device, this is where we're at, callme.road.com. Then what you want to do is put in this code, FSP-L8L. Now, once you put that in, you hit continue. And once you go into continue, you want to make sure that you have echo cancellation in green and mic gain in green. And then all you need to do is put in your name, and I'm going to put Dr. Vibe here. I need to spell it correctly. Dr. Vibe. And then once you've done that, all you need to do is click on join call. And that's it. Looking forward to having you call in. I just wanted to show a video because I know you want to call in, but I want to show you. So looking forward to hearing you live on the Dr. Vibe Show. As always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and remember to give yourself grace. God bless, peace be well, keep the faith, and walk good. All right, well, I've been verbalizing it to you all the time. I said eventually I'd do a video. The video is done. Okay, so that explains it to you. All right, before we get to stuff here, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Also, follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and Substack. And to advertise your business product or service on any of the platforms that I'm a part of, please feel free to email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Also, Indie Soup TV, powered by our good friend Dr. Tatch out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, independent content creators platform on YouTube, about over 28,000 subscribers. I'd say in about definitely less than 2 years. Less than 2 years. Check it out. A lot of the content that I'm behind is on that platform. Also, too, if you want to get in touch with Cesar, his email address, present@rootsandculturecanada.com, and Facebook, Cesar Remy Emery. And I will put here also, if you want to, you just saw the video, but also if you want to call in with a question or a take, please go to your favorite digital device, whatever platform, or whatever browser you're using, put in callme.road.com. Or if you're watching this live, there is a QR code in the corner in black. Swipe that, get to that next page. Make sure you have mic gain, all the stuff in green. Type in your number, join call. You can make it happen. All right. Cesar is going to chat with us about kicking off about his time in Dubai. How was that, sir?
So, how can I put it to you? It was amazing. When I say amazing, I posted on it. So I invite our listeners, people watching us. They can go to my Facebook. They will see images, videos, my experiences. It is not in my character to speak such, but I have to be quite honest. Absolutely love it. I am one to be more restrained in my excitement or admiration of things, as everything is relative, my very own philosophy and part of my stoicism. But yes, I loved it. Really, notion of a city in the future. Dubai is ahead of, from what I saw, it's ahead of you name it, Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, New York, Paris. It's beautiful. I am not minimizing the beauty of other cities. I wouldn't do that. Home is where the heart is, where one feels at home, at peace. Home is not about the beauty of the buildings and the flashiness of the lights. However, one would be quite a hypocrite to pretend that Dubai is not beautiful, nor a city in the future. Matter of fact, they have such a thing as the Museum of the Future in Dubai, which
Uh,
is a future of the city. Yes, absolutely. That's and many people. What I started to notice, many people did confirm that. Yeah, yeah, they're like, it's a city of the future. It's really like there are years ahead. I don't know if I can speak of decades, but definitely years ahead. I was there in the context of the Doers, DOERS, International Summit on Technology and Innovation and Entrepreneurship, pretty much. And I was there. It was for investors, founders, and creators. I was as an investor of a company which invited, I do not know how to best put it, it either all or select or some shareholders, but I was very honored to have been invited, and I felt it was important to be there. Kind of see it's important to see the product in which you are investing in. And I had uh, the privilege of having a conversation with the CEO, very much in tune with the vision that I have uh, in terms of sustainability, affordability of public transport, meeting green energy, aka solar energy, with expansion of expansion to Africa, aka the continent of the sun, if you want to call it that way. So it's not just in terms of investing for or in Dubai, it's always and ultimately for what can benefit our people. Because, and I don't want to forget saying this, as it's important for our people on the four corners of the world to understand this. 56 years ago, where Dubai is was a desert.
mm,
Where the Emirates, United Arab Emirates, the country, it was a desert pretty much. That's 50, 60 years ago. Our African countries got their independence, the year of Africa, 1960, when most of the countries became independent. Ghana, 1957. Some other countries later on, notably due to civil war. But 50, 60 years ago, the United Arab Emirates, and notably Dubai, was a desert. But you see what comes with visionary leadership, financial sound and efficient financial management, and no hypocrisy, of course. We're talking about uh, uh, lands ruled by sheiks, so the equivalent of kingdoms in the Western world, and I mean in the Middle East as well, as you see KSA, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So it is a lesson not only for our African people that there comes a point, and Dr. Vibe, you heard me say this before, and I say this as well in conferences and trainings, and notably in the Black community, there comes a point we cannot keep pointing to slavery, colonization, globalization, and racism. We need to address, and I remember my professor studies, Professor Kalulambi Pongo, may he rest with the ancestors as he has passed away. Fundamentally, we're talking about I don't want to say lack of progress for the continent. The continent is progressing, but it's not visible to all. Some countries are progressing more than others, such as Botswana. Other countries are giants, to use religious language, on clay feet, like Nigeria and South Africa. But for the rest of the continent, we too often hear of bad news. You look at Mauritius, which is having amazing progress, but you don't hear about Mauritius. You only hear about Congo, you hear about Somalia, countries that are seemingly not doing so well. Governance, leadership, too often a failure. Rwanda is doing great, Kigali, but we cannot be hypocrites and pretend there's not a situation of um, President Paul Kagame and enrichment in regards to Eastern Congo, etc., etc. But still, let me go back to Dubai, where I remind our people 50, 60 years ago, it was a desert. And yet you go there, Dr. Vibe, it's a city in the future. It was, as I wrote, it's shameful, it's humbling, but it really shows you that when the human spirit wants, it can do it. Let's not forget something. If I give a Western context, Americans were half-hearted regarding the space conquest in the Gulf in the Cold War. But it was when the Russians succeeded with Sputnik, if I'm not mistaken, with Sputnik, so the first man on space, Yuri Gagarin, they felt humiliated and thus they put in billions into NASA.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't believe man landed on the moon, I'm not having a conversation with you. It's like conversating with people who believe the earth is flat or that dinosaur didn't exist and the earth was created in 6 days. I'm not talking with you. But but no, Dr. Vibe. Look, the city is very clean. When I say very clean, I wasn't embarrassed, but so the hotel that I wanted was more in the downtown area, but popular hotel, notably prized by, language expats, aka immigrants from rich countries, usually white. Nobody looks at me and thinks of an expat. But that hotel was full. So my second option was a hotel closer to the old city. And as I discovered, um, there was more African presence there. Dr. Vibe. The streets were clean. Clean. This is not the myth of the black neighborhood that has to be dirty or that has to be ill taken care of or people not caring and they throw things on the ground. It's not true. The streets were clean. There was no mass hanging out and people looking like they're going nowhere. None of such is allowed in Dubai.
No, it's not.
Of course, it's not. So these are the same people. I'm there hearing our people. I'm hearing Congolese. I'm seeing African American tourists. I'm hearing people from Cameroon, from Sudan. I'm hearing global blackness, and yet the neighborhood I'm walking. You know me. I got my African outfit on. I'm walking. People are staring at me because they're like, who's this alien wearing an African outfit here? Practically none of the Africans were wearing African outfits. And for those who doubt what I'm saying, I had many Arabs ask me that question. I even had I'm not going to say he's a billionaire because I do not know, but this Indian entrepreneur whose company is worth billions, that I know, his company is worth billions.
Mm-hmm.
He approached me because I was wearing my black traditional hat with a suit on at the international summit. He approached me talking about the importance of authenticity, even if your brand goes global. And as so many others, I had so many conversations in terms of our black people representing. And I say this absolutely not getting big headed, but apparently from what the event was saying, roughly 3,000 participants, maybe more.
Wow.
Oh yeah, the place was huge. The place was huge. Dr. Vibe, I took people would see on my Facebook like this is Dubai. The place was huge. Um, Dr. Vibe, I didn't count even 20 black people.
Hmm.
I'm not saying there were not, but I did not count. I did not see. And unfortunately, I know why I was even more looked after. People looking at me, staring at me, approaching me, wanting to take photos, inquiring, how come you're here? Like, I just said it was not coming from malice. Even in terms as I'm saying this, I recall the panels. Yes, I can only remember one black host of a panel, and he approached me, whatever, congratulating me on my outfit, Pam, my brother, this and that. But of all the panels, I cannot remember a black panelist. I am not saying there wasn't. I'm saying I cannot remember having seen one.
Hmm.
It didn't trouble me. I'm not here throwing accusation of racism, whatever. No, 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 no. The event was great. I mean, I was there. I was invited by the company that I invest in, and there were other Africans. Absolutely, there were other black people, but I can't tell you that I saw 20, and I can't even say I saw 10. Matter of fact, on my first day, I took the opportunity to I have organized tours. So, tour of the city, a place this in the second part in the beginning of the evening was the Global Village. Oh, I love that place so much. Like basically, you have different countries that have their own exhibit. But
Right.
I'm saying exhibit, but I'm not saying exhibit as we understand here, like a booth. No, Dr. Vibe, you're gonna see the photos. Oh, my mother calls it gigantism. No, no, no. It's not a booth as you understand a booth here, like a cubicle but bigger than a cubicle. No, no. I am talking Dr. Vibe. My God, like it was huge. I love I loved it that much. But in the morning part, there was the guided tour of the city. There was an African American couple and his brother Frank. Great conversation with him, and we had a great tour guide, uh, Pakistani guy that I asked him a question, not to trap him, not to force him, but I love the honesty as he revealed that indigenous Arabs are actually black. He didn't have to. He's not black himself, but he was just speaking truthfully. And he's like, yeah, it can be controversial for many people, but this is just the historical truth. And unfortunately, the brother Frank, who is actually an investor in solar energy in Nigeria, he didn't know of the event. He wasn't invited. I tried to get him to come, but those are the type of things where it's quite pricey.
Hmm.
Quite pricey. I'm talking three digits in US dollars to come attend. So that's why also furthermore for me the honor of having been invited as a shareholder and seeing that going to Dubai. I mean it's long and there's no way that I don't do those 13, 14-hour flight trips. So going there, layover, Ottawa, Montreal, layover in Paris, and then Dubai, and coming back, Dubai, Heathrow, London, and then back to Ottawa.
Nice, nice. Before we move further, the president of your fan club is here.
Bonsoir, Michel. Bonsoir, bonsoir.
She
How
is
are you?
she is in the house. Let me ask: is there, just from your trip, is there
Mhm.
anything you see in Dubai that they're doing right that we may potentially want to incorporate on in the West?
I see a lot of things. But two things must be agreed upon. And I very much mentioned that in my post today. So my final post today about Dubai, I post, as I was there for the week. Um, yes, I did talk about human rights and in the United Arab Emirates, notably as we hear about the involvement in the Sudan civil conflict. Yes, I did talk about racism, as I notably mentioned, social justice. I was there. I talked with people of all strata of society, from CEOs to millionaires and very rich people to working poor immigrants who are there because you don't get the citizenship of Dubai. People have been there for X amount of years, and I was notably approached by women on the hustle, aka prostitutes, undercover, because legally it's an Islamic country, you can't. Just as I was approached by men working in the shadow world, aka criminals, but you got money, right? We have to be careful to judge it from a Western lens, but at the same time, some of the success, as you were asking, in terms of Dubai, why can't it be here? Let me give example. No homelessness, no graffiti, terrible traffic,
Ah.
yes, but I didn't see a single beat up car. It didn't seem the air like there was pollution in the air. And I'm not trying to paint a rosy picture, but let me go further. Just as I would see women wearing hijabs and niqabs, fully covered, only the eyes appearing, just as I saw that, I saw a woman dressed with visible butt cheeks and,
Mm,
very loosely dressed,
yeah.
to put it that way. And I'm not here passing a judgment. I don't want any woman to think, no, 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 it's not about that. But it's such an international city, and changes are fast. When I tell you changes are fast, just yesterday there was the birthday of my niece, and one of her aunts, my niece on my spouse side. I don't want to say step niece. As a black person, it's kind of weird to speak such. But one of her aunts on her mother's side had been in Dubai, and she informed me about the region as her she's there her business as a business lady, how even KSA, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, is legalizing alcohol drinking in certain parts of the kingdom
That's a
for
change.
foreigners.
That's a change.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's the mindset thing. It would be too easy to say, oh, they're just seeing money and profits. No, I think visionary leadership is the same thing I've always told you, Dr. Vibe. I've never had alcohol, but if you made me leader or dictator or president, I wouldn't be about banning alcohol because I never had alcohol. I would be about making sure it's better uh, legalized, better regulated, etc., etc. You see what I mean? So I see it's a city in the future, like I'm saying. It's not that everything is perfect because it's not. I was made aware that there's drugs under the cover because, of course, with all that money and all that pressure to work to perform, of course, there's prostitution. We as Black people can remember. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 years ago, the stories of African girls and women who basically are average to poor socioeconomically leaving uh, Africa, but also the United States and the Caribbean. They're going to Dubai. They come back very rich with a lot of money because they engage in some extreme forms of prostitution, aka porta potty. Um, you know,
Yeah.
bestiality, scatology, you name it. So
Right.
all of these things are happening, but it is a city in the future. It's a city that has a lot of things that our black countries, our black communities can definitely inspire themselves with in order to progress. Because, as I said, and as I repeat, 50, 60 years ago, it was all a desert.
There you go. Well, I'm glad you got there safe. You got back there safe, and you had no travel challenges. Let's put it that way.
It was great. It's crazy to think that I was not, and a very important message for our brothers and sisters who understandably, will say Arabs are so racist. Arabs are more racist than whites. I was not victim of discrimination. I was not victim of racism. I didn't have any issue, unlike going to the United States for the United Nations or for Orlando SeaWorld as, from the customs, etc. No, I didn't have any issue. It was honestly great. And this is a reminder, I'm being careful. 1960s Martin Luther King. This is not about pulling black people by the bootstraps because, yes, the systemic racism, we know that. We know Dubai, the Emirates, the Gulf, Qatar 2022, the whole conversation about the kafala system of modern slavery. Like I said, there are issues. I am not minimizing and I was not shy to speak on issues.
Mhm.
That said, I was there as an investor. However, it's a reminder on the importance of how we carry ourselves, on the importance of how we fashion ourselves, how we speak, and what we are there for. You will not tell me, as an African born person wearing African outfits, no matter where I go, if not only my traditional hat, as people will see in the photos I shared on Facebook, you will not tell me that it's normal that I had so many Africans on top of the whites and the Arabs and the Indians, but also so many Africans coming to compliment me on wearing African outfits, wanting to take photos, asking me what I do, asking me for tips, asking me about investing, asking me because it's not to my glory, it's to the glory of our ancestors, and me telling them, why don't you wear your African outfits? Why don't you represent your identity? What are you here for? I was there talking to a young lady. You're here as a hustler. Come on, girl. I know what you're trying to say. You're in your 20s. You're trying to hustle, and then next thing you know, you're dead. You're killed.
Mm,
No.
all right. Well, uh, good to hear that you got some perspectives and some enlightenment, and I have a feeling you will be back there.
Oh, I will be. I got invited actually next month to Abu Dhabi for a conference, but
Okay.
I had to turn it down. No, 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 no.
Okay. All
Turn
right.
it
All
down.
right.
Family,
Okay.
but yes, I will definitely be back. That is absolutely guaranteed. Yes.
All right. Well, good to hear, and thank you for your perspectives as always. And we have another topic coming up, but we're going to run a little bit of an intro to give you some background before Cesar gives his takes on it. So here we go.
Have you ever seen a MAGA icon turn on the movement and walk away? Marjorie Taylor Greene will resign from Congress on January 5th, 2026, after a dramatic falling out with Donald Trump. She once won her Georgia district by 64% in 2024, but now says she refuses to be a battered wife to toxic politics. If confirmed, her exit shrinks the GOP's already narrow House majority and triggers a special election in a solid Republican district. Trump called her resignation great news for the country, even after labeling her a traitor. What to watch next? The timing of the special election, who Trump endorses, and whether this deepens MAGA factionalism or opens space for new leadership. The question now isn't just who replaces her, but what replaces her influence.
All right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns. What it means for 47, the GOP, MAGA, and America? Cesar, it's your time.
Dr. Vibe, the summary was very good. The summary was very good because ultimately, uh, beyond Marjorie Taylor Greene, it becomes a matter of the GOP dominance in Congress. And if I dare say, you will have this highly misogynistic president, men, we will have another woman, this time another white woman, to add to his list of victims. However, Marjorie Taylor Greene not only took the upper hand with this surprise resignation, but she is putting the whole GOP and notably Mike Johnson in quite a situation because we know Mike Johnson has only been put there to be, I don't like to use words such as lapdogs, but to be there at the whim and mercy of Donald Trump, aka Kevin McCarthy basically lost his job
Yep.
because of there you go. You see, so Mike Johnson literally knows. It's like, and further than that, you see how Trump turned on the other Republican congressman, Thomas Massey. I mean, it's cliche Trump in terms of which you go against him, he comes the insults, he comes the attacks, the threats of primary, and him supporting another candidate. And it really speaks to the lack of spine of the Republican Party, as one would say many of them have already given up for the midterms of 2026, understanding that they will lose. However, it is quite telling that they still lack the spine to stand up to Trump as Marjorie Taylor Greene, despite Trump having come to the second term talking about the Epstein files. And this is where Marjorie Taylor Greene drew the line. She didn't draw the line at racism, aka Haitians eating dogs and cats. She didn't even draw the line at misogyny and rape, aka Trump himself being accused of statutory rape or statutory sexual assault. I don't want to use the wrong term in regards to E. Jean Carroll. She didn't draw the line in regards to his language and behavior, as, if I recall properly, Marjorie Taylor Greene has children herself.
Yes, he does.
There you go. So we can go down the list of what she didn't draw the line on. But the Epstein files, and when I say Epstein files, I'm talking as a white woman, because nobody will have me convinced or believing that Marjorie Taylor Greene stands in solidarity with the fate of black women,
Probably not.
aka Jasmine Crockett, no, or of indigenous women and Muslim women, notably. No, she is a MAGA who, for standing up for white women victimized, is feeling the leash, and I'm really using the term leash, of Trump tightening on her. So she decided to resign. Very smart move, but the impact is going to be beyond votes, because many of those congressmen, congresswomen, but also senators of the Republican Party / MAGA, they know, unless the Democrats do something awfully stupid, they know the 2026 midterms and likely 2028 presidential elections are not swinging in their favor, notably as this president, if I'm not mistaken, is at 33 or 36% approval rating, being the lowest at this stage of any president in the first or second term. It speaks volume.
But he tells everybody that his ratings have never been better.
Well, this is the same man who will never admit to have bankrupted how many casinos? How many bankruptcies? He will never say that he's racist in terms of his behavior towards Obama, because he will make sure to pull out someone like Senator Tim Scott, aka I don't want to say the N word, but a smiling black man, bucking and jiving for him. You will notice, Dr. Vibe, the 4 black congressmen of the GOP and the 1 black senator, Tim Scott, if I'm not mistaken, there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
They are all in majority white districts. They are
Interesting.
all in majority white districts. So, yeah, no. Marjorie Taylor Greene has hit it big.
So, Cesar, let me ask you, do you give her a pass and forgive her totally? Because,
Absolutely not.
okay, all right.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why would I? She didn't even ask for it. I never give forgiveness to one who doesn't ask for it, who doesn't atone. I can't give her a pass until she goes to apologize to Jasmine Crockett. I think, she has absolutely recognized that she has participated in the divisive, inflammatory political rhetoric that notably has led to political violence and further division. Oh, yeah. So where's the apology? You see, I am not one of those black people, and notably black activists and black community leader, who forgives notably whiteness, without the request and concrete actions to earn it. Let us never forget one of the saddest moments of Black history. Many people will be like, whoa, really? One of the saddest moments of Black history was not when this young white man by the name of Dylan Roof went into that Black church, said himself that the people in the church treated him very well. White guy goes into a Black church and he says himself that he was very well treated, and he still proceeded to kill 9 Black people in this church. 9 Black people who could be our family members of any Black family in the world. He killed them. That is not one of the saddest moments of Black history, as such has happened so many times that Black kindness was welcomed with murder. The saddest moment was when some of the family members of the victims forget Dylan Roof without him even asking. And even the judge and himself, Dylan Roof, being surprised at this extremist, exaggerated behavior of Black Christianism. So, no, I do not forgive Marjorie Taylor Greene for her past behavior. I commend her for having found something where she drew the line in regards to the white woman, victims of Epstein and other rich and powerful men, and maybe women, let's be honest. But no, I don't forgive her. I don't give her a pass for the rest. She hasn't asked for it. And among people she needs to ask for it, if she wants it, it will be our sister, Jasmine Crockett.
And what does this mean for America, if anything? Because she seems to have a lot of political power.
Well,
Allegedly.
I think this move that she did is great in terms of aligning her as an outsider to the movement before 2026. AKA, she's creating that buffer between the extremism of Trump and the decline of MAGA and the GOP, for her to rebrand herself not as Lady MAGA, or I don't like when Black people try to mock her, calling her Neanderthal, etc. We need to stop this white supremacist cliche regarding the Neanderthals. But of course, I know some of them call us monkeys and other terms. But Marjorie Taylor Greene gets to be Marjorie Taylor Greene, likely for her run as governor of Georgia. Dear Black people, do not forget something very important here. And this can easily be confirmed with our sister Stacey Abrams. Too often, Black people hear Georgia, they're thinking Atlanta. It's like New York. There's New York City and there's New York State.
True.
Atlanta, like New York City, highly diversified, interracial, strong, great Black community. The state, very white. Very white. This is why Sister Stacey Abrams lost in Georgia. This is why when you're Black and you drive through New York State to go to New York City, you will see a lot of, MAGA supporters before you get into New York City or the big cities such as, Buffalo. But truthfully, you will, don't confuse the main city. It's kind of like Texas. Austin, Dallas, and Houston, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember my electoral map, are very much blue cities. But the state is a red state. So yes, indeed, Marjorie Taylor Greene could win, and the question will be, will she remain on the stance where she's at, as she notably talked of threats to her and her family, or will she buck to the pressure and the fear regarding Trump and his acolytes, aka her own former friends?
So just last talking point on this, and we'll move on. You do not feel this is the end of her politically?
No. I think she has gained enough capital, political capital, but also sympathy because she is not the only one that has felt the brunt of Trump, but even in terms of MAGA and GOP voters. So I'm separating the two of them because I'm not sure that the MAGA movement will survive. Uh, as I see Mr. J.D. Vance with his Hindu wife, um, what's her name? Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, um, or even the sons of Trump, who are, I don't know how to put it. Like, they're very much the shadows of the father. They're nowhere close to him. Like, and his daughter Ivanka Trump has, you know, taken many steps away from the limelight. And Jared Kushner,
He's back in the limelight.
he's Jewish.
He's back in the limelight.
Most of those MAGA people will not vote for a Jewish guy. It's the same thing that what's his name, Vivek Ramaswamy discovered with, I think, Laura Ingraham, who clearly told him, "You're brilliant, you're everything great, but I can't vote for you because you're Indian." Look, there's racism in the Democratic Party as in the Republican Party. The difference, as I often use the example, is that with Democrats, it's closet racism. It's in the closet, but it's there. With Republicans, it's in the room. It's out there in your face. They have become fearless about showing it. So no, Marjorie Taylor Greene has a future in politics. Don't I wouldn't be surprised if somehow, some way, she had some rich donor to support her, such as a certain Elon Musk and his desire to create a third way. Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
that
You
is interesting.
She's a populist, and interestingly, she's a woman. She's a white woman. She's blonde. She is not a Nikki Haley, aka, is she really white? Oh, she's actually an Indian woman. Yeah, she's white, but she's Indian. You see? So yeah, no. Marjorie Taylor Greene is here to stay.
All
She
right.
may take some time off, but governor of Georgia, but she's definitely here to stay.
So we will keep an eye on MTG. All right. Next conversation piece. We'll introduce it with a video, and Cesar will be. Oh, we lost Cesar. Oh, Cesar is
I'm
back.
here.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
here.
Lost you for a second. All right. We'll go into our next conversation piece. We'll be back in just a moment. And here we go.
Have you ever seen a single act reshape immigration policy overnight? On November 27th, 2025, an Afghan national, Rahmanullah Lakanwal, shot two National Guard members near the White House, killing 20-year-old Specialist Sarah Beckstrom and critically wounding Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. In response, President Trump announced a permanent pause on migration from all third world countries, ordered a halt to asylum decisions, and directed a full review of green cards from 19 countries of concern. He also vowed to end federal benefits for non-citizens and deport those deemed not a net asset. What do you think this means for America's immigration future?
All right. We are back. And we want to say, like, we have our prayers for the two National Guards representatives that were shot. One of them has passed away, a lady. So we don't condone killing of any kind. But 47 now wants to pause immigration from third world countries completely on one action. Cesar, your thoughts?
Dr. Vibe, I join you. Of course, I'm not a praying man myself, but my sympathies to the families of these two National Guardsmen. And I'm not trying to be controversial. Yes, they were killed by these Afghan men, but they were also killed by Donald Trump. Bringing the National Guards to the cities was a political move for Trump, notably to incite violence in order to further justify war measures for him to take more authoritarian power. Remember, when all this began, many on the left, including our brother, Reverend Al Sharpton, were clearly talking about people not falling for what Trump wishes, which would be civil unrest, to have that as a justification to use the Insurrection Act and others. So Trump basically got what he wished. if not insurrection in terms of civil society, at least to use this incident to tighten immigration. Absolutely, immigration in the US, just as in Canada, has issues. That is not even the question. There are people who benefit just as there are people who have entered the US as Canada and have committed crimes. But to use this one incident to such extreme in terms of measures, it will not survive. It will not survive whether it's the midterms or Trump's second term. It will not survive because it becomes too penalizing for too many who have nothing to do with this situation other than not having American citizenship. And we can see this very well in terms of how the very ICE crackdowns that were sold as catching the criminals and sending them back to the country have spilled in terms of catching anyone black or brown, especially brown, and sending them back, sometimes not even to the country. Trump is typical populist playbook, taking advantage of a situation to go to the next level. It's the same as, the Congress people and senators talking about not having to obey illegal orders, and Trump
Yeah.
going too far in terms of talking about death penalty for treason. Meanwhile, he's the person who initiated the January 6th attacks. So literally, he's telling on himself. To go further regarding immigration, let's not forget this is the administration, the very incompetent administration, which for profits has increased a certain specific visa for entrance to the United States up to, if I'm not mistaken, $100,000, penalizing many institutes of higher learning. The way I see it, like I said, it will not survive. It's midterms, so end of next year, if not the end of Trump's term. But it is quite a dangerous situation to have, as we know this type of lone wolf behaviors, whether triggered by a Trump speech or policies, are never acceptable, must always be condemned. But let us not be fools, it can repeat itself. It can absolutely repeat itself. And in many ways, when you look at Trump policies, in many ways, we can be gladly surprised that more such has not happened. People don't just get up one day out of nowhere and decide to go shoot National Guardsmen, a National Guardsman and a National Guardswoman.
True.
It is not. It is not something. It's like you don't just accidentally go put a bomb to a building and kill people.
No,
Because
I
this
don't.
is what it is. This is what it is. These two servicemen and servicewomen who got killed could have been any serviceman and servicewoman. So the attack was against America and against America under the Trump's regime. That's where I become worried that it could happen again.
Hmm.
And some people have a wish of, death by cop, death by soldier, feeling like the warriors or the defending the honor of the people or whatever the situation is. Trump assassination attempts on Trump. I think it was the second one. The person was actually a former Republican. Please, anyone correct me if I'm wrong. The person saw Trump as an enemy to the United States.
Mhm.
So, he's doing all this over immigration. Meanwhile, um, the two assassination attempts that he survived were made by American citizens. But this organization doesn't care about logic nor law, as we know so well.
Hmm. As we start winding it down, then let me ask you, do you feel that America is in civil war?
No. I think we need to be careful with the words that we use. I do understand how some people do view it as civil war, the state of divisiveness, but with America is still a functioning country. The only difference is the downfall of America did not start with Trump.
True.
I
I
don't
would.
want to get
Oh,
yeah, I don't want to get too technical, but truly the downfall of America began. There is a specific year, but it was I'm tempted to say 90 it was between 1998 and 2001.
okay. Okay.
The chance America was the sole superpower in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It missed the chance to accompany the USSR, especially Russia, the broken USSR, and especially Russia, into a democracy path. Instead, it took the lap dance of mocking, minimizing, and feasting on the fall of the USSR, which greatly has fed the resentment of a certain Vladimir Putin. Since then, America, with Bush and the so called war on terrors, aka ideologues, and furthermore now with Trump, another set of ideologues such as Steve Bannon. So these are non refined ideologues. And let me say this Mr. Stephen Miller, the ideologue of Donald Trump, is Jewish. Him and his wife are Jewish. And yet they embrace white supremacist ideals in the notion of preserving America as a white, Christian, male dominated, aka the Handmaid's Tale book of Margaret Atwood society. Trump is speeding on the gas pedal of the American decline because everything I read, everything I see, like look at even the attacks he did on higher learning. You have professionals in the medical fields, including researchers to doctors to nurses, who have come across the border to Canada. Basically, he has created a brain drain.
Mm,
Many Americans who could, with wealth or competences that are highly sought after, have left the United States.
got it.
It's not a civil war in the classic sense of people shooting each other. It's a great division, absolutely, but it hasn't yet reached that point. Furthermore, because more MAGA are turning on Trump as they are realizing they have been bamboozled. What a surprise. The man has been bamboozling America since the 1980s or late 70s, notably with accusations on racism regarding housing and rent. This is for the death sentence of our brothers, the exonerated five, aka Central Park Five. This is a man who there was a book, the producer or co-creator of the Apprentice TV show was, I think, on MSNBC as it was called then, aka MS Now, apologizing because the very book, sorry, The Art of the Deal that Trump apparently wrote. No, he didn't write it. There was a ghostwriter
Writer.
and embellishing what Trump was saying. The Apprentice, a lot of work behind the scene. It's not the genius of so-called self-made man Trump who inherited, I think, 400 million from his father. This is the same America where racism against Donald Trump, racism towards Barack Obama and jealousy towards Barack Obama led a man to want to become president in a GOP that truly was lacking talent. And when I say lacking talent, I'm not saying that with any intent of disrespect, but we can see the lackeys that people such as Ted Cruz, what's his name? I'm having a memory blank. Secretary of State Mario,
Rubio.
Marco Rubio,
Yeah.
but even what is it? Former GOP Congress leader Mitch McConnell, how they bent to Donald Trump despite him insulting the roots, insulting the wives, insulting them themselves. So that's what Trump has done. He has, he has truly brought corruption at levels unseen in American politics for the enrichment of his family. And you have a GOP so desperate to cling to power, where you see white Christian evangelicals corrupting themselves, speaking Jesus and the Bible, and yet supporting a man who is the very antithesis, if not antichrist, to Jesus Christ's values. I mean, let's not forget this is a Donald Trump who cheated on his pregnant wife. Can you imagine a black politician revealed to have cheated on his pregnant wife? And
No.
I didn't even talk yet about January 6th.
Oh boy. I think we'll end it at that. January 6th will be the last comment of the day. All right. As always, we want to say thank you to Cesar for taking time to hang out with us as always. As always, if you want to get a hold of Cesar, the way to do it is this. His email address is president@rootsandculturecanada.com. You can catch him on Facebook. Seems that he's active there at Cesar Remy Emery. Always subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and Substack. To advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that I'm a part of, please feel free to email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. If you want to find also more about me, go to taplink.cc/the Dr. Vibe Show. And as always, you can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and the Dr. Vibe Show website, the drvibeshow.com. As always, this is how we end it off. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and remember to give yourself grace. God bless, peace well, keep the faith, and walk good, and take care.
Just take a quick moment.
Yeah.
You just introduce yourself. Let Dr. Vibe welcome you into the show. As I told you, Dr. Vibe.
No. I welcome. I'm really good to have you here. I didn't want to. You were on a roll. I didn't want to interrupt. You were on a roll, but
In an award created by whites, dominated by whites, run by whites, and you're a billionaire, bro. FYI, I don't. It's probably the first time of the year that I use the word bro.
yes, it is. That's the first time, as long as I've known you, you used it.
My daughter would laugh.
But for many people, the economy ain't great. There we go. I saw that.